This episode of Limit Break Radio is made possible by our generous Patreon donors, including Nikos the Cone of Cactar, Tara Fug of Hyperion, Ty Drago of Sargentanus. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to support Limit Break Radio, visit patreon.com/Limit Break Radio.
Coming up this week on Checkpoint Radio, Ninja, one of the top streamers in the world, is under fire for saying he won't play with female streamers. What's that all about? Plus, our good friend Jello stops by to talk about the struggles of being a gamer dad. That's all coming up on your source for esports and video game discussions, Checkpoint Radio from Westwood One. Join me, Nate, Robbie Norris, and Joe for Checkpoint Radio. Listen on demand Fridays at our website at checkpointradio.com.
This space intentionally left blank.
Live from Eorzea.
Limit Break with your hosts, Unhero.
Now behold the horror you have wrought.
Kahlo.
I said don't take your clothes off.
Juxtaposition.
I don't get it.
Ascalia.
Holy shit, totally forgot about him.
And Mika.
Oh my god.
LimitBreakRadio.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Limit Break Radio, episode 170.
Oh, we're finally out of the 160s. That took forever.
I know, right? I don't know why, but it does feel like it took a really long time to get out of the 160s for some reason.
Looking forward to the 170s.
It feels like it should be like episode 300 by now.
I know, right? Well, we took last week off. Thank you guys for allowing us to take last week off. That was nice. How was your baby thing, Juxta?
It was really good.
Yeah?
What baby thing?
I don't know. Why did you have to take last week off again?
Yeah.
I had to watch my baby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because of surgery from my significant other.
You just had to keep looking at it?
Yeah.
He complained the entire way down here, like how he has no time to do anything whatsoever except watch the baby.
Yeah, the really awesome game that we've been playing, World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to play that game because I've been watching the awesome baby.
You also stepped down from Dungeons and Dragons. We had to send your character off.
Yeah, I know. That was really sad. Why'd
you have to step down from Dungeons and Dragons?
Because I have to take care of the baby during Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, like it was one thing it used to be.
Make your baby a character.
First of all, Nika,
God, no.
Second of all, even when Fairbear was watching, like we'd still hear in the background once in a while, like crying and screaming. So Juxta would keep himself muted, which was the best you could do.
Yeah,
so that's fine.
We appreciate that.
But yeah, the idea of him sitting there holding her the whole time while playing, it would just turn into the baby stream. Let's be honest.
It'd be actually pretty cool.
No, it wouldn't.
It could be
why can't your character have a baby in the game and that could be your baby's character?
Nika, I don't know if you've ever watched any TV show where they didn't have a baby before and then they put a baby in. It sucks. No show has ever done it well.
But
That's
has
true.
a D&D ever done it?
No.
Well, anyway, welcome to the show, episode 170 here at Limit Break Radio. Appreciate having all of you along. We are...
Camera, please on.
Wow.
God damn it.
Wow. Failbot.
Let me fix that.
Failbot.
All right, well, it was easier when the speaker was where I could see it.
Anyway, thanks for joining us. Twitch.tv/Checkpoint Radio. We are, of course, live from Eorzea. Let's kick it on over to our Eorzean studios as requested by that donation that no one could hear because, of course, you didn't set the shit up right.
I can send it through again.
No, don't do that because
I'll do
it's still not set up right.
Oh, it's not set up right?
No, it's not.
Why not?
Because you didn't remind me to do it.
I didn't remind you.
You didn't remind me to do it.
Well, do it.
Why didn't you write an opening this week, Juxta?
I did.
that wasn't an opening.
That was not an opening.
That was irrefutable proof that I am the greatest witmaster alive because I sent an open invitation to everybody of the world to make their own opener, and they had 2 weeks to do it. Thank you very much. And you know what we got?
Nobody did?
Zero. Zilch and nothing.
What?
So therefore, world, you have just declared that Juxtaposition is Witmaster of the Universe 2018.
Okay, but now come next week, you still have to go back to doing it.
Well, as
Since you are the Witmaster of the Universe.
as self-decreed Witmaster of the Universe 2018, I get to make my own rules, and no.
All right, so what happens come 2019?
I'll worry about that later.
You have to
that's
prove yourself
that's
all
future
over
Juxta's
again.
problem. Come on.
So you got so what you're saying, though, I hear what you said, but what you're really saying, Juxta, is I put it out there 2 weeks ago that somebody else should do my job for me, and I had 2 weeks to do my job, but I didn't do it, and neither did anyone else, so that's what you get.
No.
Yeah,
you completely heard it absolutely wrong.
That's what I heard.
Yeah,
you have to read
That's
between the
what
lines.
that
I heard that our
is.
fans are liars because I know some of them said that they were going to do it.
Well, they didn't send it to hosts@limitbreakradio.com, that's for sure. I even checked that email before coming in here yesterday, and we got an email, surprisingly.
Did you put it on the outline?
It was already on the outline, so I couldn't.
Oh,
But it is on the outline.
okay.
Did you not put it on the outline?
No, that was probably
Kooky must have done that. So actually, I did that. I put it on the outline.
So are we gonna
blatantly try and steal Kookie's job now?
we gonna have a commercial next week or not?
Not
What's
her
going
job,
on?
but her credit.
Oh, okay.
I stole her credit.
Okay. Anyway, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. Twitch.tv/Limit Break Radio. You can join us live on Sundays. And again,
That's today.
that is thank you, Nika.
You're welcome.
Well, actually, it might not be. Like in like, I don't know, like 28 hours, it won't be.
28.
Please fired.
Yeah, I agree. Simon, I agree.
They won't fire me because then they'd have to do more work. So Juxta
The
not
work
fired.
that you don't do.
I did work last week, and that was like
The work that you
preemptive
try to
work.
pawn off on our audience.
It's not pawning off. It's
That's
called,
exactly
it's called
what it is.
Outsourcing. It's called supervising, and I am management material.
Then why didn't anybody do their job?
Yeah.
Well, clearly because they're lazy pieces of junk. That's why. That's why.
Why does he
just
sound
gonna
like he's
insult
about
our
to
audience now, too?
cry?
You're crying. What?
I don't know. There's just like this thing in your voice. I feel like the next step for you is to just start crying.
I'm not crying. You're crying. Daddy knows when I cry. This isn't how I sound when I cry.
Oh my God.
So next week we're gonna have a proper commercial to read, right?
Look, I'm going to give you a tip, like an easy way to do it, because you seem to think that it's hard coming up with something new and inventive every single time. It doesn't have to be completely original. One of the best things that you ever done, and to this day, I actually still don't believe that you did it on your own, was the Nika Blart Mull Tank.
Yeah, that's what I can. Dude, I was
That
like,
was
why
so
don't we
good.
do more spoofs or
Exactly.
parodies?
So
Because
just
that's cheating.
No, it's not.
They're
Half
funny.
no, you
Half
want to know
the
what
work is
fucking
done for
cheating is
you.
not fucking doing it.
All
Exactly.
right, fine. From now on, I'm just gonna do nothing but movie trailers and show trailers, and that's every single one it's gonna be.
That would be hilarious.
Exactly, right? Like
Yeah.
my suggestion to him was to like take the Eureka's Castle theme and make it remake it for FF14.
I still don't know what that is.
You want to know what I'm?
How do you not know what Eureka's Castle is?
What I'm surprised he didn't do today is just make a normal
What kind of
commercial.
fucking childhood did you have? I'm concerned that you can't provide the right type of childhood for your child because you don't know what the fuck Eureka's Castle is.
This is the song that never ends.
That's not it.
Yes, it goes
That's
on
not.
and
No,
on,
that's
my friend.
goddamn lamb chop.
You're do it yourself.
Started singing
thing
it,
broke.
not knowing what it
It
was,
was a
Stop
good
it.
try though.
and they'll continue singing it forever just because this is the
Stop!
song that.
Mute Juxtaposition.
I'm gonna fucking.
No,
God damn it.
I forgot what I was even in the middle of saying before all of that happened.
What type of childhood can you have for your children if you don't
Sesame Street?
if you don't know what Eureka's Castle is? That is a shame.
I know that it was a thing. I never watched it, but like I can see like
It's
fragments
an anime?
of
I
it
thought it
in
was
my
an
head.
anime.
Nobody knows what you're talking about, Dad.
Please.
I can picture what like the box art looks like, but I've never seen it either.
How have you? Oh my God! You guys did not have proper childhoods.
If I did, I was too small to remember, but I know what the box art looks like.
Sorry,
Eureka's Castle was like a competitor for like a little bit like Sesame Street, where it was like puppets and you know, I don't know, I guess like for lack of a better term, furry costumes. You know what I mean? Like that's
Is
pretty
this
much
where
what it
your
was.
hatred of furry started?
It may, man, you know, we might be
secretly a furry.
we might be uncovering some things here. But it was
Getting an extremely gay vibe.
It was a great show, and I enjoyed watching it. But I still remember. I could probably recite the goddamn theme for you off the top.
Do it.
Could you really?
Do it.
Could you really?
I don't. Oh God damn it!
Perform.
Apparently, it was on Nick Jr., so it was like
on
the Nickelodeon.
Oh, okay. That would
version
explain,
of
because I wasn't a big
Sesame Street.
Nickelodeon fan, so that's why I don't have that much
poor,
of
I didn't have cable either.
basis for it.
You know, you could earn your mic back if you were a responsible podcaster, Juxta. Just stop being obnoxious.
The easy way out today would have been to write a commercial for the companion app that was just completely true.
Thank you.
And everybody would have just been like, wow, I'm glad that doesn't exist.
Thank you. God, why do we have to do your job for you? Lazy dick.
I'll do that next week.
Great.
You're so bad at this, you made me forgot to mute my phone. You
made me forgot to.
Jesus, did you even try?
Shut up.
I think we're all just having strokes by like proximity.
How do I know that we all smell burning toast right now? Anyway,
I'm making toast in the kitchen.
Is it on fire?
I mean,
you may want to go check it. I'm just saying. Anyway, thanks for joining us. LimitBreakRadio.com to subscribe to the podcast. Given that
An area under furry vision.
Furry vision.
Furry vision.
Listen, just because I root for Sonic Fox
you can do whatever you want.
and I liked Eureka's Castle does not put me under.
That's 2 out of 3,
suspicion.
man. That's
No,
two strikes out of 3.
It is not 2 strikes out of 3.
You got one more, and then you're under furry suspicion.
What exactly is the criteria for putting someone under furry suspicion?
The 3-strike rule. We use that for everything. That's universal, man.
No, well, but I mean, like, what counts as a strike? You root for Sonic Fox too.
Okay, so that's only 1 strike for you. You have 2.
And you want to cosplay as Sly Cooper.
Okay,
Strike
so that's
number
2.
2.
That's 2.
All right, still not 3.
Have you ever gone shopping for tails? Because that definitely is problematic.
Have
right
you?
there. No, I haven't.
Okay.
Never.
You've
But
gone,
I mean,
you've
you're
gone
the
to
one.
an anime convention. I feel like that's a strike.
That's not a strike. Anime isn't
What?
furry.
I mean,
But all of you have a
Because
strike.
furries will literally go anywhere. They're like an infestation.
Anyway, we're gonna get to the companion app. We need to somehow get off the furry thing. And
well, you need to stop getting off on the furries.
If you guys want to call in today, 810-515-8715. I actually saw someone earlier in the chat, and I don't know if this is their first time here or not. It's a name I didn't recognize. Mentioned that they had recently started listening to the FF11 episodes and has gone all the way up so far through the 2014 Fan Fest.
Really?
And said like they're really surprised by like how much we've grown and stuff. If you're still listening, at some point call in, because I don't know, like a lot of people do that, right? But no one ever really calls in and like talks to us about it. I'd be interested to know.
Yeah, like
sort of like some stuff that you've noticed.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
what are your insights on the show from doing that? Because I mean, I do that with other shows, right? Like I will binge other shows like that. But I mean, I've never done that for my own content, you know?
Which is weird, because when we juxtobered the episode 1 of Aetherite Radio,
yeah.
Oh my God, you sounded like you were on helium.
Oh, I know, right? It's
So
weird.
weird,
It's
yeah.
so weird. It's so weird. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Got some stuff to talk about. We'll probably complain about Eureka Pagos and the companion app.
Let's complain about it.
In a little bit. And yes, we do invite your calls because we want to hear what your opinions about both Eureka and the new Monster Hunter crossover event, as well as the companion app. We want to hear your opinions about it all. 810-515-8715, the number to call. You can also call us on Skype. Limit Break Radio is the Skype account, or limitbreakradio.com/Discord to give us a call on Discord. Oh, that's right. We have a Patreon. I forgot about that.
We do have a Patreon. Yeah.
Patreon.com/Limit Break Radio. If you enjoy the content, if you enjoy the show, then make sure that you head on over to Patreon and support the show. This show survives really only by your support and
really
the dwindling enthusiasm that we have left for this game.
Yeah, we might have to ask for a little more money when we throw a Nero here into an old folks home, as he's obviously showing signs of memory loss.
Yeah, right. This is the early signs
shows from the 60s.
The early signs of dementia. That's right. Yes, I can recall all of the Punch and Judy shorts from the 1940s.
But the past week, that's gone.
Yeah, right. Don't know what I ate for breakfast. I don't think I ate breakfast.
That's right. Speaking of Patreon, though, the Kala postcard for this edition's Let's Be Real themed stuff has gone out, and we should have Juxtas on Monday. Again, this is going to be Juxta. Chris, actually, this is the Let's Be Real. So instead of seeing our characters like you have, you're going to be seeing depictions of us now. So you're going to be seeing Chris as you've never seen him before. And keep in mind, he's cosplayed as Quiet.
That video made its rounds in our Discord the other day.
What, just like randomly coming back?
Somebody had mentioned it, and then another person was like, "I've never seen pictures of that. Can somebody post pictures?" And I was like, "Well, there's a video."
Juxta, you have a daughter now, and in 10.
I didn't mean to do that.
That was an interesting place
I wasn't
to
listening
put
to
that.
actually where you said.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe never.
Yeah.
Never go back and listen to what you just did.
Have you look at him cringe over there? He's like, that was a mistake. That was a mistake.
Very bad.
Yeah.
Poor choice of time.
Anyway, what I was going to ask is, have you given any thought in 10, 15 years when she sees stuff like this, how you're going to explain that to her?
Drugs.
You can tell her you were on
She's
drugs.
just gonna accept that.
I don't think she's not going to believe you. You don't do drugs.
Not anymore.
Anymore.
She won't know about when he was younger, I guess.
Dude, have you ever had a parent try to give you the drug speech and you're sitting there going, "You've never done drugs. Get the fuck out of here." There's a certain amount of credibility that comes along with having a speech like that. I would look at Juxta and I was like, "Yeah, no, drugs weren't your problem. Cupcakes were your problem."
Hey, man, I hit those Tylenol 5s pretty hard last night.
Tylenol 5.
Anyway, back to the postcards, though. No, it's nothing as bad as what the Quiet cosplay is. This isn't like a not safe for work
I think
thing.
he's going to need to do more work explaining his self-control around buffet lines than
That might be fair.
than drugs or alcohol.
2 plates, that's all you need.
Yeah, you just keep refilling them, right?
It's the 2 sets of silverware that's really the disconcerting part, because you don't need to eat from both plates at the same time.
Why do you have silverware? You have 2 perfectly good hands. If you put food on a fork, it might fall off, you idiot.
Okay.
You geeks are so
gullible.
So anyway, if you want those postcards, head on over to our Patreon. A pledge of at least $20 guarantees you a postcard a month.
And we do appreciate your support over at patreon.com/Limit Break Radio. Again, we are going to look at launching the Let's Be Real podcast once fall hits. I saw some comments earlier on in the week. Let's see what their excuse is this week. We did have a run of 90-degree days this week, right? Like, I don't remember going back to school and there being a whole lot of 90-degree days.
Hold on. Once we say you're going to get the Let's Be Real at this date, like, we don't have to provide any new excuses until that date.
Right.
So
right.
There is no other excuse. It's fucking hot out, and you'll get it later. You are going to get an episode per month completed. So
we're at 2, right?
Yeah, 2.
We're at 2. Currently, the Patreon is sitting at what is it, 12 something or other?
11:49.
11:49. So we've got 2 episodes of the Let's Be Real podcast that will be coming to you in the fall. But obviously that total's got to go back up to be able to be receiving more episodes. So 1,300 is the goal that we're looking for to be able to continue the Let's Be Real podcast. Again, that's looking to get started this fall. And then real quick, I think, we're trying to figure out if next week we're going to be live with a new episode or not. It's a little bit up in the air. Kahlo and I are actually going to be out in Connecticut covering the Rocket League Universal Open.
The grand finals for that.
That's right. That's the grand finals of that. We're going to be broadcasting live from the NBC studios over at twitch.tv/Checkpoint Radio. So make sure that you're following over there and to check that out. We're going to be providing pre- and post-game coverage, talking to competitors, talking to team owners. We're going to be on boots on the ground and covering all of the Rocket League action. So we're not quite sure. Juxta is not sure what his work schedule is. So we're trying
Maybe it'll be the Nika and Friends show.
Maybe it'll be, Nika.
Oh, you have friends, Nika?
This is the show that we hope ends.
So we're not totally sure what the plan is going to be for next week. So make sure you follow us on social media, Facebook.com/Limit Break Radio, Twitter.com/Limit Break Radio. We'll announce what our plans are for the episode sometime midweek this week. So
shout out really quick, the guy that I had mentioned, Pibreboit says, I was the one that was listening to the FF11 episodes. Not sure if I can call in because people are talking in my house, but it was hilarious the first time Juxta was featured on the show. He was interning and you guys yelled at him because he still wasn't doing his job right.
Some things never change. Except I'm not interning anymore.
Yeah, except now we pay you to do the job.
Yeah, now the interns do more work than you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's America.
Another victory for America.
I mean, he's not wrong.
All right, let's check out what's going on in FF14 news.
This is a Limit Breaking News Update.
The Moonfire Fair event is back again, but there's a small twist here in regards to the event items, guys. It seems that everything from the past Moonfire Fairs will actually be available via in-game vendor and not the cash shop.
What?
Excellent job, SE. Yeah, that's right.
I'm shocked. I actually am shocked. That's not sarcasm. I'm actually surprised.
And they have added a new outfit as well as a Moogle mosquito incense burner furnishing thing and a plate of some curry that you can, put inside your house on a table somewhere. Man, they could have easily got $5 for that curry in the cash shop next to the snow cone.
There's also a splash emote.
Oh yeah, and the splash emote.
You have to be in the water to use that?
Probably not. Probably not. This has already actually started. It started on the August 16th, and it goes till the 26th. So get your shit.
Someone in our Discord channel keeps saying that this is really good.
What's really good?
That the Moonfire event is
it's really good if you like jumping puzzles.
They added a jumping puzzle.
It's a jumping puzzle.
Okay.
To get the outfit, you just have to do the very basic ones, but then there's one that's really super insane and harder than the Kugani Tower, and you get to the top and there's literally nothing there but pride. I really wish that there was some event-specific achievement to make it worth doing.
No. This is Square-Enix. You do things for the sake.
It was garbage.
You do things for the sake of doing them.
So I got all the way up to the point where the pegs become literally the size of toothpicks, and then I gave up because there was literally no point in trying after that.
You hear that, Square-Enix? There's no point in trying if there isn't even an achievement. Would you have done it if there was an achievement?
You can't even take good pictures because once people get up there, they just stay there, and it's a little tiny small square of space for making it all the way to the top, and there's 10 people standing on it. It's what's even the point? You can't even get a cool picture.
That's dumb.
It is dumb.
Pretty much. So there's the Moonfire Fair event. Someone in our Discord thinks that that's pretty good.
But the splash emote is cute.
Stop it, Mika. Don't encourage this.
Kidding.
It is, and look at the
Obviously.
bathing suit. It's adorable. And apparently, I'm hearing from guys that this is like the first bathing suit that doesn't make guys look like exhibitionists, so that's good.
Okay.
Like
I
it's an
thought you said it
actual
was
nice
good.
top for dudes. It doesn't have like that strappy shit on it.
Yeah, but I mean, banana hammocks are,
Awesome.
pretty much the way to go.
But like this top is so adorable.
No,
And,
oh my
and you
God.
can visor the sunglasses so that they're like up on your head or that they're down on your face. It's super cool.
You're literally
I actually-
part of the problem right now.
Let me
No,
get
I'm
to
actually happy with
jumping.
the glamour
Let me
for
get
this
to
time.
jumping now that I know that I can visor fucking sunglasses.
It's cute.
I better get off my ass and start jumping around like a fucking idiot.
I don't know. I feel like for a summer event, this is the cutest outfit they've ever done. It's way better than last year's, which was just a recoloring of the Shisui of Violet Tides.
I don't know. I mean, I guess if this is your thing, I'm just saying what some idiot in Discord said. I didn't say it was good. I wouldn't waste my time with a fucking holiday event.
Yeah. All right. So moving off of that riveting discussion, since our last show, 2 pieces of the Tales of the Storm have been revealed. So these ended up being short stories detailing moments from Stormblood. Last week was In Darkness Blooms the Lily, which tells us how Yetsuyu came to hold the position she did at the start of Stormblood. And the most recent from Azure Ashes, which details the comings and goings of one Azure Dragoon between the end of Heaven's Ward and the start of Stormblood. And we figured if we have enough time near the end of the show today, actually, maybe we'll give you guys like a dramatic reading of them.
I don't know. I don't think our audience would be interested in hearing something.
No,
like that.
even if we got like a guest speaker to come in and help. No. Oh, all right.
No, I don't.
It's really stupid.
It's a fucking dumb idea.
You're right. There's no smut in it. That's usually the only way that they get behind reading.
Dude, these guys don't give a shit about that at all. Oh, a dramatic reading. They're just like, shut the fuck up. Let's talk about Pagos. Bah.
I actually read through the first one, and all I could think was, she's fucking dead now. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I mean,
No, what I'm thinking is, why wasn't it in the actual game? But
Because Square-Enix. That's why.
Yeah.
That would take a year's worth of development.
And a book. Because, of course, you got to be able to sell it somehow.
Yep. So anyway, that's it for the news, guys. It's been a slow one, even considering there was 2 weeks worth. Square.
But what about the cash shop?
I don't think there was any. No, they put the Moonfire stuff in the game instead of the cash shop.
I need a way to give Square-Enix my money, though.
Well, you know what? We'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
We'll get to that. Don't worry. Don't worry. I promise.
So last week, had there been a show, we would have been talking about patch, what is it, 3.46, whatever?
That's right.
Okay,
That's right.
Cool. Well,
I'm sorry, I thought it was garbage.
Yeah, kind of. Okay, so show over, right? We can leave now. We're done.
We
We're
outie?
done. We're good.
We outie.
We're
All
good.
right.
That about summed it up. Dude. So you know
you know what? Let's start at the top and we'll work our way down. All right. Let's start about the best thing from patch 4.36, and that was the Monster Hunter crossover fight. All right.
Yes.
It was fine.
Have you done the X mode?
No.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, I mean that's
it's fun.
Cool.
Like I think that they did a good job of taking what Monster Hunter is and putting it into 14 in a way that still works.
Yep.
And yet it still feels like Monster Hunter.
I actually thought it was cool that in the second phase of the fight, healers can't heal, and so you can only use the mega potions that you were given.
And you get knocked down, and your character just rolls across the battlefield.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
So I mean, it was fine.
And you actually have to like scrape, like you don't really actually scrape the things, but like to get the items, you can't just exit. You have to actually click on. The tail,
you
click on
quote unquote carve them off. Now to that end,
cool.
I really wish that when you destroyed the tail, it actually fell off, like in the games.
Oh, that
Yoshi said that would be too morbid for 14 or something.
Too morbid.
Really? Just the tail falling off?
It doesn't have to have blood and guts.
Hold on.
Disappear. All it has to do is fade off.
Wait.
Away.
He said that would be too gory, and this is coming from the guy that I applauded back when A Realm Reborn relaunched, because he said, and I quote, "We're going to get back to the dark roots of Final Fantasy XIV, and cutting off a monster tail is too fucking morbid." Meanwhile, there was a quest last night that I did in Battle for Azeroth where this vampire picks up a gnome, sucks all the blood out of him through his back, and then slams his body onto the ground and explodes, and there's just a skeleton left there.
That's disgusting.
He was a gnome. He deserved
you
it.
would not.
No,
so
the
they're
fact
saying
that
he
you're
didn't-
playing on Alliance, you fucking traitor.
They're saying they said they would have to change the rating of the game, not if they didn't actually make it like an animated flopping tail. Literally, all they had to do was make the tail fade away.
Yeah. Anyway,
like it's not that hard.
That's still dismemberment.
Jack in our chat brings up a really good point. Didn't Raubon lose a goddamn arm?
But
we didn't see it. We didn't see it.
You're
flop
not
anywhere.
doing it though.
Oh,
so we actually
that's
saw
the
the quest where,
I
like,
mean-
the cutscene where he got it chopped off.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, we didn't see the severed arm afterwards.
Right. All we saw was like, it was like his close up of his face and like, oh, redness, so you know it got cut off. But we didn't see like a bloody stump or anything like that.
What do you think happened to that arm? like
I was throwing it. No, you know what? Because he was put in a prison cell, right?
He was.
Now, if I
Made a
was
clone out
Lolo
of it.
Rito or whichever the one was that survived, what
The
I
evil
would have
little
done,
shit. Yeah,
the
I
evil
don't
little
remember.
shit. What I would have done is taken that arm
Made
and I
a
would have
clone Raubon.
no, I would have ground it up and I would have fed it back to him.
Ew,
That's what I would have done.
No,
Yeah.
that would be something that would require.
You ain't gonna
changing
do
the
it
rating of
on
this game.
screen, but I'm just saying, if I was Lolo Rito,
That's some
Oh my
game.
god,
that's what I
Marcus-
would have done.
That's some,
Marcus says this Sultana has a personal sex toy now.
Really,
That's
she only
pretty
probably
fucked
needs
up.
the finger, though.
That's pretty fucked up. You could probably taxidermy it and have it be a nice, like stuffed.
A nice
Arm.
memory of the day when your friends betray you. That's great.
I miss my friend Raubon. I'm just going to taxidermy his arm. That's pretty messed up.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go with the feeding it to him thing. I feel like that's the less fucked up thing.
In that situation, maybe a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Maybe a little bit.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, like, what do you like awkwardly? What do you have to do with severed body parts?
Do they have an incinerator somewhere they can throw them in?
They
I
just
mean,
bury
maybe.
it in the yard.
But I
They
mean,
don't
like,
just
back,
bury it in
shoot
a
it,
yard.
bury it.
Then
But
you
I
have
mean, like-
Muggles digging it up and like bringing it in as a gift or something.
how often are you confronted with this situation? Like, if Juxta's arm just fell off right now in this studio, right? Like, we would probably take him to the hospital so he would live, maybe. But what would we do with the arm afterwards?
Well, I mean, you bring it to the
throw it in the trash.
hospital.
No,
He'd
why?
probably
It's,
wanna-
it's of no use to you.
He'd probably want to keep it.
You know
Well, they
what?
might be able to sew it back on, right?
I
It
would
depends
actually
on how
use
it
my
fell off.
arm to jack off myself with my arm.
Wow.
Is that masturbating at that point?
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Yes,
great.
it's still masturbating.
But with a toy.
Yes, if someone uses a toy, you're still masturbating.
Yeah, but it's also a part of your arm. So are you using a
But
toy
it's still
or
part
are
of
you
you.
using yourself?
But it's still masturbating whether
Wow.
it's part of you or not.
Limit Break Radio asking the hard questions, folks.
I'll tell you what, I'm hard now.
Oh God.
That was a bad phrase. Yeah, God damn it.
You walked right into that.
I did. I did. Back to Monster Hunter. The fight was fine. I did it the one time. I guess I enjoyed it. I don't feel like I have any reason to go back in.
But what about glams?
I mean,
And the mount and the orchestrion rolls.
if I cared about any of that, but I just don't anymore.
There's orchestrion rules?
There's
Yeah.
a orchestrion roll.
There's two.
Is
I
there
think.
two of them? Oh, okay.
I'm pretty
But
sure.
yeah, you-
Monster Hunter music?
Yeah, they did use Monster Hunter music. But so when you go in and you carve, you get, I think it's two scales, right? And then
Yeah.
the stuff costs scales. If you go into the extreme mode, you get golden scales and normal ones. Is that right? Because there's stuff that costs normal
I don't
scales.
know. I've
and
never cleared it. Most
golden
pugs are
scales.
really dumb
Oh
at
my
this fight.
gosh.
Oh.
Nika, you have a raid group. Why are you pugging?
Exactly. Nobody wants to do it.
Yeah.
Why doesn't anyone want to do it, Nika?
I thought you said you had friends, Nika.
I do.
Are you sure? Because
Uh-huh.
they seem like they don't want to play EX modes with you.
It sounds like bad friends.
Yeah, I don't...
No.
Can you call them friends if they won't even Rathalos X you?
There's, I mean, okay, there is one person that wants to do it, but we need 4 people.
Yeah.
But every party that I've been in, like, because there's no on the ground telegraph, literally, like, the only thing you have to do is stay close to him so that you can, like, dodge when he turns and faces you. But literally everyone just like, hey, he's facing me. I wonder why. Oh, look, I'm dead. Like, nobody can dodge it. It's so stupid.
I'm going to be honest with you. Ever since I realized kind of how much they phoned in the gear design on the Rathalos fight, I've been very tuned out of it. I mean, as far as FF14 gear, it looks okay, but they really had a great opportunity to mimic some of the very iconic gear from Monster Hunter, and they just didn't. And I do not understand why they didn't.
Well, because I mean, they used everything else: the Rathalos, the Palico, the music and stuff. They really
The
had
cat?
that. That's the Palico.
Well, but
The
I mean,
pig?
like,
the pig as well. Okay, fine. Yes.
I would assume at least portions of that are probably importable or transferable depending on whatever, architecture, the game engine that they're using. Because they can port stuff from older Square-Enix titles,
right?
And that doesn't seem to be a problem, right? Like some of the assets from 11 and 12 and 13 have been
you think
kind of
that
upscaled
maybe
for
the
14.
reason we didn't get the Monster Hunter gear itself was that it would have been a bit more complicated?
Yeah, I think so. And the thing is that
I think the shoulders bigger.
But I mean, like, I think that, like, they could have done it if they had taken the time to do it, right? Like, if this was a more meaningful crossover, I think that we would have seen gear much more iconic of the Monster Hunter series.
I think this could have been a meaningful. Like, they got a really cool behemoth, and, like, this is a never-ending event. It's literally in the game forever. I feel like that's very meaningful to make it part of the lore to a point where, like, it's actually part of the lore of this game.
Yeah, that's true. Rathalos
they could have made this a legitimate thing.
And forgive me if I'm wrong. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think that there would have been a lot more interest in doing this event had that been the case. Had the gear actually looked like gear that came out of fucking Monster Hunter, then I think you would have had a lot more people doing it. And granted, I'm hearing that the fights are very well tuned and that they're fun. But at the same time, though, like I still think that you could have had something iconic.
Yeah, see, I have to side with Nika on here. Even had they had the Monster Hunter gear in there, you're still farming this fight like 50 plus times.
It's 50 times just for the mount for the X mode.
Yeah, okay. So imagine.
And then if you want the regular gear is, you can get from the regular mode, but it's not dyeable. So if you want the dyeable one, you have to do the X mode 50 times for the mount, and then like however many more times per scale.
I feel like that ask is too big for the reward
but apparently that's how it is in Monster Hunter, right? You have to do these things over and over.
Fair. But I think there is a certain point. Like I commend them for wanting to make a event in both games that harkens to the way that those games play as well. But there's still a certain line that you have to draw, because you're exactly right. They could have done something really, really meaningful with this. And the fact that this is leagues better than any other crossover or event that they've done.
Except for Yokai Watch.
Shut up. I think really kind of underscores just how sad of a state it's in, that this is the best crossover they've ever done, and it's still not really up to the par that it needs to be.
I mean, again, with how intricate the Garo gear was, remember that stuff that, that crossover? I feel like, or the Yokai Watch stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
that gear looked cool. Like, the gear from Yokai Watch looked like it would be in Yokai Watch.
It did. And I understand that it's going to be difficult to be able to take gear from Monster Hunter and port it over to similar gear design in FF14. There's really not much in FF14 that looks like the gear out of Monster Hunter.
I actually wouldn't be surprised if the gear they used was already designed and being waited to use for something else.
Just design a new set. And I understand how much work that is, but design a new set. Do the damn work.
Quote, the Yosheep, developers should do it because it's good for their game or something like that. Remember that one quote?
I remember. Yeah, when he talked about other developers that say, "Oh no, we can't do that because whatever." You should, Yoshi. You should.
I mean, to me, this didn't move the needle for me.
No. It didn't move anything for me either.
Like I was like, oh, I guess that's kind of cute. Whatever.
Here's the sentiment here. I feel like this actually hurts them in the long run, because doing this, again, when you compare it to other crossovers, best crossover they've done yet. Any crossover hereafter, if it's not at least at this level, they look bad.
Yeah.
Don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
No more Fate bullshit.
No, that's what the next one's going to be. It's going to be Fate bullshit, because they ain't got Capcom money behind this.
I mean, and again, you're right. Like, I do commend them for making this an actual event, right? But the gear grind nature of it, if you had put a much more unique visual style to that gear and made it look like something that came out of Monster Hunter, I think that more people would have been into it. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, again, at the end of the day, it doesn't end up moving the needle for me.
And you actually thought that gear looked cool to begin with.
I did, and then
It just looks like high Allegan gear with a couple more spikes.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like it's tweaked high Allegan gear, and yeah, that gear does look great. But at the same time, though,
I just want bigger shoulder pauldrons. I don't know.
You know where you could get those, Nika?
No, don't say it. Nope, not listening. But I just feel like they had potential for it. Like people are like, I'm not a huge Monster Hunter person. Like people used to talk to me about it all the time in college, drove me crazy, so I never got into it. But people are saying the Rathalos gear is pretty iconic for Monster Hunter. So I just feel like if it's that iconic, why would they fuck it up?
Yeah, why would they just not even bother? I don't know.
It definitely comes down to effort, because you're right. Something like porting Rathalos in there. Rathalos is Rathalos no matter what. But imagine all the different races you have to basically remake this gear to be able to fit. Just wasn't worth the time to them. You, players, weren't worth the time to them.
It's a little depressing.
A little depressing.
A little depressing.
Yeah,
all right, well, why don't we talk about Eureka Pagos then?
Oh, well, that'll uplift our spirits.
So they made something worse than Animos. Great.
Now, to be fair, I'm going to try and play devil's advocate here as we go through this, because I think
Yo Sheep's advocate.
Yes, I will play the Yo Sheep's advocate, because the changes that they made, I think, were in direct response to some of to a lot of the criticism that we had about Animos in Eureka. But the problem is they adjusted for these criticisms, but that was it. It took certain things away without necessarily adding to it. Now, Nikki, you said the first day that you went in, you told us it's exactly the same. It's all just
the first day it was exactly the same. Everyone, like, there was only 4 NMs that anybody could kill between, because everyone was like level 20 to 23. No one was higher than that. So like all people were doing were going between like the 4 NMs near the bottom, like the Ash Dragon, the Snow Queen one, Taxim, whatever those ones were. They were just doing those 4 over and over.
They were trying to play it like Animos.
It was identical to Animos the first couple days.
How was your XP gain from that?
It was okay. Like what I'm mad about is that people are less nice here. Like in Animos, I never once lost XP by dying, because someone always raised me no matter where I was on the map. This time around, I got to 21. I went to go do the first quest. I was literally right in front of the quest item, like right there, and I died. I was shouting for the whole 10 minutes. Nobody came and helped me. It auto home pointed me, and you lose literally 50% of your level.
Nice.
I was so pissed. I was so pissed. I'll go back down like I had just gotten in there. It was so stupid. And then I ended up coming back, getting to 21, getting it, and never going back in because I was so mad.
Wow, half a level. That's pretty insane. And
that is pretty brutal.
It's interesting that you bring up how people don't seem as nice, because a lot of the posts that I have been reading,
people won't come raise anymore.
It's weird that everyone seems to refer to the best aspect of Animos was the social aspect of it, right? We talked early on about how it made us actually talk to people and communicate with people and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. You had to purposely form groups. Like you couldn't just, throw yourself into a matchmaking party or something.
Right. And that's one of the things that you still have to do in Pagos. They've found a way to decentivize the NM train by I think people had mentioned they had reduced the amount of XP that you get from NMs, and they also reduced the rate at which NM spawn, which may only be why that people are only able to find 4 on the first few days. But the NM train isn't as viable in Pagos, and if you want to level quickly now, you need to basically form parties and go and chain mobs together, which definitely helps. Now going into Pagos, we have the Eureka challenge log, which we didn't have at the beginning of Animo. So that's like a big boon until it basically runs out. But that's essentially all everybody's doing now is XPing off of mobs until an NM spawns. Then you go do the NM thing. And Nika, would you like to talk to us about your experiences killing these NMs? Because apparently they're a lot more difficult.
They have a lot more HP,
but not in a meaningful way.
Yeah, there's one, I think it was the Ass Dragon one, where literally we
sorry, wait, what?
Ass Dragon?
Ass Dragon?
No,
ASH.
that's not what you said. That is not what you said. You said
we can call him the Ass Dragon. That's fine with me too.
Okay, Ass Dragon. Thank you.
But like, I just feel like we were just throwing hordes of people at it, kind of like in 11, where you just throw an entire alliance, they wipe, you throw an entire alliance, and you wipe again. That was basically what it was. It was really bad. I mean, granted, again, people were only like level 23. We weren't that high at that point, but I just feel like they had a lot more HP. There's the one cute thing they added that could have been cool was the little treasure bunnies.
Oh, don't even.
No. Like, it could have been cool. Okay. So there's this whole fate where it actually takes way longer than you think. There's like waves of mob and then an NM at the end of it.
Ooh.
And then there's like a 50% chance that you end up with a bunny. Not everybody gets one. And then the bunny will lead you to treasure. And if you die along the way looking for the treasure, you lose the bunny. You don't get the treasure. Okay. But the thing is that fate doesn't even give any XP. It doesn't even give any XP. It only gives you like a 50% chance of getting a bunny. And so nobody wants to do it because it doesn't give XP and you probably won't even get a bunny anyway. So
what's in the treasure?
It's just like random shit. I don't know. I think
just the usual shitty stuff.
10,000 gil and a potion.
I think.
Really?
But also,
Eureka potion.
But the thing is, there's like a higher level bunny fate. I'm assuming the level 30 bunny fate gives better items than the level 20 bunny fate. But at the time I was doing it, nobody was high enough to do the level 30 bunny fate yet. So I don't know.
Now, back in regards to the difficulty, though, one of the common threads that I've seen is that a lot of people take Pagos way more seriously because again more HP. You really have to be putting your all into this. Nika told a story, or maybe it was something she read about a healer who had stopped to type something.
This is a healer in my static.
Oh,
so
it's
like,
actually happened to someone in your static.
This is the first-hand account I got from him. Yeah.
All right, go for it.
So yeah, so that it's because apparently the NMs aren't the main target anymore. Obviously, that's why there's no NM trains anymore. So people, first of all, don't wait for anyone. The NM spawn, they're like, oh, I guess we got to go kill it. You kill it before anybody gets there and you go back to your parties. Like, that's a thing that's happening right now. And then you get to your party and basically the point of fight, like you need the higher chain to get XP. And because your TNLs are so high now, you need to suck up every possible second doing DPS. So, granted, somebody shouts for a raise or somebody shouts, hey, where's the level 21 quest? And you stop to type, hey, the level 21 quest is at this position marker. Then the healer in my static got bitched at by his party for not DPSing. Because, first of all, he already was DPSing, even though he's a healer. Okay. But the thing is he stopped to help someone, literally to type out where the quest marker was. And he got yelled at because they're wasting valuable seconds to chain mobs.
Fatebringer in our chat says people are parsing and kicking people if they can't kill mobs fast
That was the next thing I was going to bring up. Apparently, parsers have returned for Eureka Pagos.
It's because the higher the chain, the more, like, that's all you need. You need that XP.
But you can't have a parser in 14. Yoshi said we can't have parsers. So how is he parsing?
He said you can't use it to grief people, and that's what people are doing. He's like, well, we won't punish for it as long as people aren't griefing people for it, and now it's happening.
Look what happens.
Yep.
So here's the thing, okay? Because it seems like they tried to address some of the complaints and problems about Eureka Animos, except what they did is they made core system changes and then didn't bother changing the system after that, right?
Yeah.
To me, this is what I think Square Enix wanted to do with Animos to try to fix these problems, but then they didn't go and iterate on any of the ideas, right? So now you have an environment where instead of the NM train, you have XP parties, and occasionally an NM will pop. And that's just a matter of course in XP parties. And
I hate that I want to say that the NM trains are more fun, just because at least in the NM trains, people were making stupid puns, people were joking, people were just fun.
It was social.
Even though it wasn't fun, it was social. But now people are just being bitches, and that's no fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's part of, over adjusting for a problem. And again, there's no iteration on any of the fundamental concepts of Eureka. And I think that was when I looked at the notes in the abstract, and I went, God, nothing is really changing that much about the way that NMs are popped. The difficulty scale of NMs just really, throw more HP on it so it just takes longer. That's a bad answer. That's a really bad answer.
It's a terrible answer. It's effectively, to me, you have a road that's full of potholes. Let's close off the road. All right, there. Everything's done now. It doesn't actually solve any sort of problem. But what if, hold on, I have a question for you. What if we reached back? We reached back and took one of the good core mechanics in FF14 that people loved and put that into Eureka Animos, right? Because we still have to improve gear, right?
Right.
So what if for the weapon? Because I think you can upgrade to item 370 now. Nika, what's currently the highest weapon you can get outside of Eureka?
Well, so the ultimate weapon, I think, is 5 eye levels higher.
Okay, all right. So this is
75, but the rest of them from raids and tomes is 370.
Okay, so we're even still just tying what we already have with this. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, how would you guys like to go in and farm lights again?
I like fighting Garuda.
Yeah.
It would depend.
Yeah. At level 25, you go to Geralt. He gives you a kettle, and he wants you to fill it up with aether lights. And when you kill stuff, NMs or whatnot, you fill it up with light. And you take it back to him when it's full, and he gives you the protean crystals.
You need light that's specific within Eureka.
Yeah.
I think it would depend. If they were more no, not lights. I think more going back to the hunt books that we had for those other relics.
Nope, it's lights. It's lights.
So that way you had to kill certain NMs and certain monsters.
Anything.
No.
I mean, NMs give you more. But nope.
I would do it if it was a hunt book where it's this weapon has to go kill these mobs, and you would work together to hunt certain
that
mobs.
would be inventive, right? that might be a little bit engaging, because then you're camping specific NMs, and
But did you forget that the hunt books for our first relic, they were all the same for every single person or for every single weapon?
Were they?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I did, I think, either 2 or 3 weapons, and every single first book had me fighting those stupid Gigas down in Kurthus and waiting for that one fate.
Some of the later ones were different,
in the Shroud.
Were they, Nika, or were they just spread out so much you just can't really recall?
You can't remember, Nika.
Yeah.
They were exactly the same.
Omega, when I mentioned the lights in chat, just goes, no. But yeah, upgrading the weapon is basically just collecting lights. You go back, and like I said, when you empty the kettle, you get the protean frosted protean crystals, which is the stuff that you needed that you got from NMs.
They're great.
These ones are just called frosted protean crystals or something.
But it's the same thing. Just the manner you get them now is by just farming anything instead of NMs specifically. And then at the end, of course, you need Liu Ice, which is essentially your Pazuzu of the zone.
Pazuzu feather.
Yeah. Now
Cold Zuzu.
I'm gonna need you guys to correct me if I'm wrong, or chat correct me if I'm wrong. Do you not upgrade your gear in Pagos? Is it just a weapon upgrade this time around?
That's what I've been hearing. Which is also really dumb, because I thought it was supposed to be relic armor as well.
Yeah, me too. Why did I bother going through and upgrading all of that fucking armor in Animos?
Sets.
To diet.
I did the samurai and the paladin armor because I figured I wanted to keep them both tip top.
So hold on.
Wow.
So we have to go into a new area that's harder content than what the previous one was.
Harder is
not challenging. I didn't say challenging.
No. Harder is a relative.
More
tedious.
Okay, tedious. Yes,
because it's more time consuming.
Thank you. You're right. That's a better word. We have to do more tedious content for less reward. And by the way, even if you haven't gotten, let's say, your 370 weapon from raiding or tomes, and you're like, well, I can do this really, really easily in probably less than a month when the new patch comes out with new tome gear.
You're done. Yeah, dungeon gear is going to outclass it the next update.
Anyway.
Except you have to do it right now, because if you don't, when the next iteration of Eureka comes out, you're going to be behind. And you're going to be in my case where I'm
behind what?
I'm level 5 Eureka, and guess what? I'm not going to be able to do Pagos because I can't get into that zone because I'm not high enough level. So I'm going to have to go back to Animos.
Yeah.
But who's doing Animos anymore?
I mean, people are doing Animos. I was in there for 3 hours trying to get my level back up again so I could go into Pagos. But as I'm reading stuff, why? Even when Logos comes out, right? The way that gear and the item levels have been working out, why? It's always going to put you just right under where people outside doing raids or tomestones already are anyhow.
For the glams. Glam is the end game.
I just don't understand.
I don't even care about glams no more.
I mean, I'm
Do you
even
care
just thinking
about
back to what?
Lick my balls.
Boo.
Just thinking back to 11, even in like merit point parties, where like people would pull and you need to have a certain DPS, but people wouldn't kick you from a merit party if you were getting a certain XP an hour.
Yes,
Yeah,
they would.
Yeah, they would. What are you talking about?
Are you dumb, Nika?
I don't know. I never got kicked from a merit party.
Are you using those rose-colored glasses again? Because
I mean, maybe. But like, I remember doing merit parties, and as long as you're getting a certain XP per hour, people were fine with it. But
yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know. For me, what this comes down to, you know, when Animus came out, sure, it was a flawed system. You know, there were some people that liked it, some people that didn't. We were at least able to see that there were certain parts about it that gave us a little bit of hope. And, you know, we talked about how Pagos was sort of going to be the make or break. What can they do with this system? Because they've been here before with Diadem, and they failed utterly.
Yeah.
After seeing this, I don't think that Square-Enix has it in them to actually produce any sort of new and actually compelling content that improves upon itself.
Well, and again, it's because they try to overcorrect their errors, right? Like if Pagos had iterated in any way on the content instead of trying to fix the way that the players were playing the content, then I think that this would have. I don't think that we would have been able to walk away with as many criticisms as we've been able to level.
Maybe, but even if they hadn't done that, or maybe they correct it and then also, you know, compensated for what they've removed from doing these corrections, the fact still remains: why the fuck isn't armor upgradable again? That's a pretty glaring omission.
The reason why is because we haven't had an eye level push.
Okay, but you could have at least caught up the Animos armor to where it's supposed to be, because it's still even under what tomes were.
I agree.
Yeah, it's at 350.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And yeah. So that is very, very confusing at the end of the day.
Are they going to go up to 360 next patch when we're wearing 380, 390?
It's going to be 390. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Or
Next year, Rika, they're going to have 2 upgrades for your armor, but you won't be able to upgrade your weapon.
This is really
stupid.
Really bad organization of content.
That's so stupid.
That's so bad.
They managed to fuck up Eureka when it was their best chance to do something nice.
Do something different, at least.
Anything.
I mean, you can still argue that this is different.
It is. I mean, yes, technically, but
not good. Different.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go to our phone lines and talk to Piggy from Cactar. What's going on, Piggy?
Hey guys, what's up?
Thanks, sir.
Hey, thanks for calling Limit Break Radio. What's going on, man?
Nothing. I just want to voice some of my concerns with Pagos. And yes, it is only just a weapon, and you guys kind of did a terrible job of explaining the bunnies.
The bunny thing? Well, that was Nika. Anyway.
Yeah.
What? That's all the bunny is. It leads you to treasure, and if you die along the way, you lose a bunny, and the treasure is just shit you got out of lockboxes anyway. So.
No, it's not. No,
well, at least the level 20 bunny shit is. I don't know about the higher level.
All right. Well, Piggy, please explain to us the bunny.
From the level I got crafting material from the level 20 bunny. Yeah. I know crafting. Ugh. But I mean, it's.
You're not helping your case here, Piggy.
I believe there's a chance that it also drops items for one of the NMs, so you can actually get gold on it. But nonetheless, no one's doing the bunnies also because no one's high enough level, because the 20 bunny fate can still send you to the middle of buttfuck nowhere.
Yeah,
where everything's 20 levels higher than you and one hits you.
It's not worth it, is what it comes down to. I mean, because everything that I read, first of all,
and it doesn't give any XP from the fate anyway, so nobody wants to do it.
Yeah, all people are going to think about is, well, we're doing that stupid bunny, we could be earning XP.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that also leads to my other concerns. They got rid of the NM chain, and they want people to kind of chain, but the chaining XP is not even that great either. It's kind of just, chain for 3 hours and probably go up half a level.
Yeah, see, that's
oh my god.
Yeah, it's a
that's
lot.
unreasonable.
What?
And I understand, and listen, I do understand Square Enix kind of decentivizing the incredible XP that the NM train used to give, right? Because it was great XP. I understand them nerfing it, but doing that and then not adjusting the chain XP is really You know, like, again, that's what makes the system much more tedious and feel much more tedious than the last go-round. And, I mean, I guess there's a certain argument that players weren't playing the system in the way that it was intended.
So this is your punishment?
Kinda.
Eureka punishment.
It does feel a little bit like Square Enix is now punishing the community and saying, okay, well, in this phase, you're going to have to work twice as hard as you did in the last one.
That's fair.
Is it?
That's fair.
I don't think it is.
If you take half as much work as you should the first time, then the next time you have to do twice as much. That equals out to 1. Quick math.
But here's the other thing, though. I'm currently level 23, and I kid you not, I spent 15 minutes shouting looking for a chain group, and I never got a single invite.
Yeah, I've heard reports of people having to work very, very hard, even just to form or get into a group. And to the idea that the NM train needed to be nerfed, I don't think that the problem with the NM train was the amount of work that you got done or the amount of XP. It was how it was delivered, okay? I think the amount of time that I've put into Eureka so far, I'm level 15 now, so I'm still not max level, okay? But to potentially cut that in half or make it last even longer isn't what I think needed to be done. I think that the NM train was something that was not intended, but the amount of XP per hour or the rate of leveling was fine. Yes, that was okay. Get rid of the NM train, but the amount of XP per hour was fine. That should not have been messed with, and that's the problem, is that they took away something. They took a system that was flawed. They took out the flaw, but in doing so, crippled the system.
And I think what's kind of important there is that, you know, with the way that Animos was running and the amount of time commitment that you had to put towards it, you were still able to do Eureka and other stuff, right?
That's a fair point.
It feels like with Pagos, Square Enix is saying, okay, you have to choose what you're going to do when you log on. Either you're going to be logged on for 6 hours at a time and doing dungeons and Eureka, or you've got to choose when you log on what you want to be doing. And if that's the case, there's going to be a lot of players who throw up their hands and go, well, my choice is not Eureka, because it wasn't the main core of the game to begin with. That's not the reason that people log into FF14 every day. And it's fine if there are people who like Eureka and would like that to be more like the main core of the game, but it's not. And you shouldn't, as a player, be made to decide, do I want to do this one area of the game or do I want to do this other area of the game? And, you know, if the game's not good enough to sustain that much uptime or having someone logged in that much, right? No one is playing FF14 like that because it hasn't had content that sustains its audience like that. And so to now suddenly set in front of people, well, you've got to choose, what do you want to do? Do you want to do dungeons today or do you want to do 6 hours of Eureka? I think that's pretty intrusive into people's play style, and that's where people are falling off and going, well, I guess this isn't for me, because people said the same thing when they looked at the amount of time that they had to put into raiding, and that's why you see raid returns of single-digit percentages of the community that's even trying that content.
There was a thread that I came across when I was looking through Reddit that actually talked about the differences that they saw between Animos and Pagos, and they applauded Animos, and that, again, everyone realizes that it was flawed, but there was still a way to enjoy it. There was a new sense of social interaction, of community. You know, people came together in Animos for this giant NM train, sure, which maybe wasn't the best design, but people were still having fun with each other, and it was a very, very casual experience. And now you're expecting those same players to go into Pagos, and suddenly that's gone. People are pulling out their parsers. You can only get into these small groups where people are like really drilling down and being like, no, you need to do this content right. You need to be at the top of your fucking game or get the fuck out. And it's a huge shock, I think, to perhaps a lot of the people that maybe carried or are still playing Animos right now because it's fun to do, and it's going to be like hitting a brick wall.
How many people, I mean, honestly, how many people have gotten booted from a group and then don't do that content for 5-6 days, maybe even ever again?
The very first dungeon I ever did in FF14, when I hit max level as Black Mage.
Yeah.
There's another Black Mage in there who basically bitched at me because I wasn't doing my rotation right.
Right.
And I didn't queue for another one for 2 or 3 weeks, I think.
And
was that Kyle?
No, but fuck him, by the way, because I did dungeons with him the other day in
Why
WoW.
would you want to butt fuck him?
And he went higher in my item level.
Phrasing.
He went higher in his item level in a single day than I have all fucking week.
Phrasing.
Phrasing.
No.
Phrasing.
Butt fuck him.
Phrasing.
Not in a good way either.
Okay, that just got really weird. Anyway. So yeah,
take off your clothes.
But I mean, like, there is this very real, like, time sink equation that people have to do where, you know, they decide what they want to do when they log in, and I think that, you know, at least it looks to me like the time commitment that Pagos is going to be able to take is much more considerable than Animos, and I think that that's a move in the wrong direction,
especially if the rewards are significantly less.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, I can't upgrade my gear. I'm only trying to upgrade my weapon. Like, at this point, you know, the cons are starting to outweigh the pros. It's not fun to play anymore. People are being sour about it. And this is the way that content dies. This is the way that you go, that you got to Diadem, right? Diadem is a system that required a lot of people to participate, just like Eureka does. And if there's only a small percentage of the community that's interested in doing it, guess what's going to die really, really quickly? You know what I mean? And
yeah, no, that's pretty much the bottom line.
That's I think fairly problematic, especially if you want more from this game than just dungeons and an occasional raid. You know,
they killed Eureka, guys.
It does feel like this is a move in the wrong direction.
Oh, okay. So you know, it was an interesting adventure watching how Diadem transformed from 1.0 to 2.0 and then maybe even becoming Eureka. Who knows, right? But now we get to watch it all over again with Eureka, Animos, Pagos. What do you think that there was going to happen with Logos now? Do you think that having tried to correct from Animos into Pagos, that Logos might get the compensation that it needed for all the corrections they made and be good? Or do you think we'll just see a repeat of now Logos is going to be even worse than Pagos?
Oh, I think first of all,
I don't think anyone's going to be able to play Logos
because they won't get high enough level.
They'll give up.
You know, Square Enix has some pretty objective measurement tools that they can use here. Okay, how many people are leveling and how quickly are they leveled, and then at the time at the point where they come in on the next patch. What do you do to make sure that either they're at the rate that you need them to be, or is the content just going to be DOA? Because you're right. If no one has leveled to the point where Pagos is relevant, or if a couple hundred people have only leveled to the point where Pagos is relevant or accessible to them, then what's the point? The content's dead on arrival.
Fruizard Asian also pointing out that he doesn't like how they basically gave us our mounts at 20 in Eureka and then took them right back away in Pagos.
What level do you get them back in Pagos anyway?
Probably not till you're near the caps. 35 now? I think we got them, was it 17 in the other one? So probably, I would say maybe 3 levels before cap even. Wolf Please is saying Logos is the battle system. I don't know what that means, but you're gonna have to explain that a little bit.
He's saying that the battle system is called Logos and not the
third area.
Oh, the third area isn't going to be. What battle system?
Well, everything ends in O,
the
so
elemental
I wouldn't
wheel.
surprise it.
Oh, they just called it. Well, why not call it the elemental wheel?
Board.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure Yoshi P at one point said there's going to be like a weird battle system where like a DPS can become a tank. something along those lines.
Yeah, but I don't.
100% sure.
I don't think that.
What?
I first of all, I don't know where you heard that because I've not heard that at all.
All right. Blue Cloud's also saying Logos is not the map names. Maybe I misinterpreted something, but
we're talking you guys understand our context. The third area.
Third area, whatever the fuck it's called.
Wait,
You're
you don't
picking
get the mount
third.
at 35?
What?
You get the mount at 35.
Yeah, definitely 35.
All right, good.
Yeah. Cool story, bro.
Phonographic. Oh shit, that dude's still on the line. Yeah, he's still here. What up, Piggy?
His name is Piggy.
Yeah, that's right. Call him by his actual name.
Yeah,
anyway,
I'm the new Juxta. Fuck it.
Piggy man, thanks for the call. We appreciate hearing from you. We want to hear from you. We want to know your thoughts on Pagos. We want to know hell, if you want to talk about the companion app, that's probably what we're going to talk about next.
Yeah, but really, call and talk about anything.
Yeah,
whatever's on your mind.
Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. I think that what does Square Enix even do to be able to fix Pagos at this point?
Okay.
Can it be fixed?
I think they can patch it and change the XP gain.
In a world where they can fix it, let's say they actually have the ability to do so.
Triple the XP, done.
Yeah, I think just add more XP gain.
Sure. Are you talking about triple XP gain from everything?
Everything.
From absolutely everything.
And
also, really quick note that I wanted to add, there was apparently a bug that I think has since been hotfixed that some monsters just didn't give you XP.
No, that's fine.
And you had to log out or leave the instance and come back in to potentially fix it.
But that's I think that's maybe a quicker. That's a pretty quick fix to be able to it would at least make it so it doesn't feel like you have to. It wouldn't seem as tedious and time consuming, right?
Because honestly, the time put into it should reflect the rewards you get out of it. And if the reward went from a full set of armor and a weapon to just a weapon,
to just a decent weapon that's going to be outclassed in a couple of months anyway,
the answer there is not to increase the workload,
right? And I think that again, that's the core problem that you have when every update or every other update pushes the eye level up, because everyone knows that exactly what you're working for right now, it may have long-term value, but if you don't want to put in that time, you don't have to, right? You're not losing out. What you're losing out on is not so substantial that it impedes your ability to enjoy 90% of this game. You know what I mean?
Except if you pass on Pagos right now, then when they come out with Dickos in the next one, and then Vagina-os in the one after that,
I'll go to that one.
That's all that content you can't.
There's not going to be 4 zones. There's only going to be 3. You really think they're going to get to 4?
No, they said there was only 3.
Yeah, that's what I thought. They confirmed that there were only 3, but I don't think that they would have had.
Well, regardless.
Wait. Because I had brought this up before that there was the 4 fiends from Final Fantasy. What was it? Mystic Quest or something?
I think you're looking way too deep into it.
No, and that Pazuzu and the ice one.
Regardless, what
I think there might be 4 actually.
What he's working towards is the fact that if you didn't do Animos, you can't get into Pagos.
Next one.
So you certainly aren't going to be able to get into any of the other ones, and the longer you wait, the more insurmountable that wall is. But in 2 of the cases so far, the rewards that we get are not better than what we currently have access to, and within a month's time, they're coming out with even better gear. So you have no reason to do any of those anyway.
I'm just saying it's more content that you will basically be locked out of doing, and we all know how much Square Enix loves to make sure that everyone can do every little bit of their content.
It'll be interesting to see what type of catch-up mechanic they put into it, I guess.
And I think, that's where you come in, Juxta, being a level 5 in terms of Eureka. What kind of catch-up ability are they going to give you if you want to participate in Pagos? You don't have any right now, but will there be, right? And is that
Eureka
fair?
Jump Potion.
Is that fair? Because at the end of the day, what we're talking about, at least in theory, what we should be getting out of this is your relic weapon. And at what point did they start easing the grind of the relic? and that's usually after all of the content is out, right? Like that's usually they didn't start easing stuff in the books or the Atma requirements as they went along. Did they?
It was like 3 or even 4 iterations past is when they would start nerfing the earlier stuff.
Okay, so if it follows that trend, though, it would be
Eureka
like the
was so
third.
slow getting out that I don't know if they would even bother to do that before they just do the final make everything super easy catch up.
See, that's what I'm thinking is that it's going to all be out before they make the catch up,
right?
The catch up mechanic.
You think they even will bother to make a catch up mechanic?
Probably. I mean, they've eased the requirements around every other relic.
Okay, here's what's going to happen, though. That catch-up requirement, all it's going to do is slash in half the amount of crystals you need. So if you didn't level up in Eureka, you're still going to be fucked.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. As long as we're on that page.
I mean, I could also see XP items coming out of there. Because at some point, you're right, though. Yeah, at some point, Eureka Animos is going to be completely dead.
It's going to be diadem. No one will ever do it.
Right.
Like come next expansion, the expansion after that, you will not be able to do Eureka in its current state.
I got it. When you go to Palace of the Dead, you can toggle a little option to gain elemental XP instead of normal XP, and you just level up your elemental
That's
XP.
actually not a half bad idea.
I mean,
in Palace of the Dead.
I mean,
I would probably do that.
And have more
anything
fun
to stay out of Eureka.
I mean, that's not a terrible answer. I mean, again,
I mean, it's terrible that it came to that, but with what they have available, you're right. It's not the worst. Not the worst.
Yeah. I mean, because again, they're gonna have to do something because you're right. At some point, Animos is going to be empty, and it's going to be impossible to be able to do the content. And when that happens, and that's actually probably going to happen sooner rather than later, sooner than the expansion even, I think that's a very valid question. What do they do to be able to keep that content relevant and to be able to make sure? Because you have to have enough people caught up to the current level cap to go into the next place. And if they don't have that, then that content dies on the vine, does it not? Right? Like we see a lot less people in Pagos than we did in Animos, mostly because there's a barrier for entry there. And we've said, FF14 does need more barriers to entry. But you also have to keep the enthusiasm high so people want to be able to clear those barriers. And that's what I see has been lost here, is that the enthusiasm around Eureka has taken a pretty serious hit. Whether it's been after Pagos came out and hearing all of the bullshit about Pagos, or whether it was just in the natural cycle of, I got my shit out of Eureka, now I'm done, and people tuned out of it. There is a very serious problem of how many people are actually going into the instance and having viable instances. I'd love to know how many viable Pagos instances there are versus how many viable Animos instances there were. Because there's got to be way less, right? If there's no barrier for entry on Animos, anyone could go in and at least check out the zone. Right? But if you've got to be level 20 in Eureka to be able to check out Pagos, I have to think that there's maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 instances total going at any one time.
Yeah, because when I was in Animos getting caught up, like it was still actually extremely populated. People were talking, communicating. There was someone who was actually consistently. They had a shout macro that told the position of the NM train and like the next 3 NMs that they were going to, and linking to a website that kind of showed like what was up at that point and whatnot.
There is a tracker website.
Tracker website
for Pagos now too.
Okay, so I mean, the people like Animos by no means is dead. You could easily get caught up. But everything that I've heard, Animos, but everything I've heard of Pagos so far, Anira, I think that you're right, that the thing that is most likely is that people coming through Animos, whether they had a good experience or they thought, it was okay, when you hit Pagos and it's so vastly different, even the culture of it, I think that's going to be a big turnoff.
And I think player toxicity is a really, really big problem.
But there's no parsers in game, so player toxicity doesn't exist.
But it does.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
There's no parsers in the game of 14.
Hang on. Take your Yoshi P blinders off.
Oh.
Yeah, right?
Okay, hold on.
Now do you see the problem?
Oh my god, there's toxicity everywhere in Pagos.
There's a huge problem, right?
This is Toxagos.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
It's so easy to see once the Yoshi P blinders come off, right? It's like night and day. Right? Better one, better two.
Yeah, it's the
better A, better B.
It's the Spider-Man Peter Parker meme where you take off the glasses.
Right. All right, let's go back to our phone lines and talk to Geldnar Hothbane of Gilgamesh. What's going on, Geldnar?
Hey, what's up, Nero? Hey, how's everyone doing today?
How's it going, Gelnar?
Thanks for calling.
Oh.
Thanks for calling us here on Limit Break Radio.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yes, I would like to talk to you guys about the Monster Hunter event. Now, I've done it a couple of times on normal. I still haven't cleared the EX version yet, but I picked up the PC version of Monster Hunter World, and I'll tell you this right now. They are bitching about Behemoth over there.
Absolutely.
I heard that.
Big time. I went on the message boards and I was looking over there, and they were like, "Oh, we can't do this," and I'm like, "Oh God, do I gotta explain to you guys about the mechanics for Behemoth?" Because they kind of mix both the.
Don't they have like a line of sight mechanic over there now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
Like the meteor thing where they have to hide behind something.
They both combine. They kind of combine both the Hunt version of Behemoth and the Crystal Tower version of Behemoth and moshed it together to make the Monster Hunter World version of it. And they were bitching about it for a while, and it was just funny to hear it because I'm sitting there laughing, going, "You guys don't know the pain of what we got to go."
It's definitely a difficulty thing that they're complaining about, because I've also talked to a lot of people who have been like really nose to the grindstone playing Monster Hunter since it came out and have really, really high hunter levels that are like, it's a lot of fun.
I'm at hunter level 29 right now.
Oh, you still have a ways to go.
Oh yeah, I still got a ways to go, but still, I'm having fun. And I picked up Monster Hunter after not playing it since it first came out on the US a while back. So it's been, that. But anyway, back to what I'm talking about. That the fights are not that hard, I would say, for the event. It's just figuring out the mechanics, and that's the problem a lot of people have been having with this. Same thing with same thing with a lot of the rating now. But I go back to the point of the events are fun. They should be fun. And, I do agree with you. There should be a barrier for entry to a certain degree. Not just let anybody go in and roll in like you guys were saying about Eureka.
Mm-hmm.
There should be a barrier with everything.
Okay.
I would say not to the hard point of where you got parties, you got a DPS. If you're not DPSing, we're kicking you out. And I'm like, that's okay, fine. Do what you got to do. I'll go on another party. It's not, I don't like to hang myself up on the ash hattery that goes on within that, because it's not worth it.
Okay. All right. Well, so what I'm hearing is Monster Hunter event in the crossover event in Monster Hunter also similarly received in the Monster Hunter community, a lot of frustrated people over there. I also did hear some of that frustration as well, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like it seems like they got over it pretty well.
It makes it sound like they just expect everything to be super easy and handy.
Yeah,
it actually, and they've never had a real mechanic fight in Monster Hunter.
Which actually isn't true, because depending on each monster, like, you really have to get used to the way that it telegraphs and the way that basically it sets up each of its stuff. Like, Monster Hunter is a very mechanic heavy game.
And why is this such an issue?
That's actually what surprises me, is that these people are having such an issue for it. And from what I've heard from the other people, because this is such a high, like I think when talking to, maybe it was Morgan Freeman, I forget who it was, but someone mentioned like a minimum of 90 hunter rank, which is pretty high. I think people are trying out this event at lower levels, and because it's so tough to do, they're basically crying foul, because up till this point, they've been able to do anything as it's sort of handed to them in the game because they're level appropriate. And I think that maybe the Behemoth was either just overtuned, or they're just expecting too much of the majority of their community.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I want from a crossover. I don't want,
everything since then has been super casual and super easy.
Yeah, and that's fine. If 99% of your crossover content is super casual, and this is like the kind of the one exception to that, I'm totally fine with that.
And
I don't have a problem with that at all.
Assume that you would get pushback like this,
right? Yeah, exactly.
I'm more than fine with the difficulty. I got no problem with it. I love the challenge. Bring it on. That's how my view is on the whole thing. But anyway.
All right. Well, Geldnar, thanks for the call, man. We appreciate hearing from you.
You too, man. Take care, guys. You have yourself a nice day.
Yep. If you want to give us a call, Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. We want to hear from you, whether it's about the Monster Hunter crossover event, whether it's about Eureka Pagos, or if you just want to call and say hi. Give us a call, Limit Break Radio, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. Did we want to take a minute and read from the Tales from the Skies, or Tales from the Storm, or whatever the fuck it is?
Do we want to? What about the companion app?
We want to talk about the companion app.
We didn't talk about the companion
Let's
app.
complain about it.
That's right. Now we do. Yes. Now
it's really bad.
A bit of setup here, guys. I checked the day it came out. It was up to about 5,000 downloads. As of this recording, on the Android Play Store anyway. As of this recording, it's up to 10,000 downloads.
Nice.
And the first thing when you log into it, 10 million players worldwide. So that's hilarious. Currently at a 2-point rating. Juxta, what did you mention it was on iTunes last you checked?
Last I checked, it was at 2.2 and dropping.
Okay. All right. That's right. So, again, we all knew going into this, there's going to be a free version and a premium version. No one really knew just how bad this was going to be, but let's talk about the free version here. So first of all, you get to select one additional favored destination for warping in-game.
Nice.
Cool, I guess. You can chat with people on your FC Link Sheller friends list, which is what you can do in all other companion apps like this, like for WoW and stuff. So that was.
Hang on.
Yeah, wait a second.
But wait a second. Hang on. Yeah, we've got to be a little bit more specific about this than Square-Enix was, because you can chat with all of those people, but it's an individual chat window.
It's an instant messenger private DM.
Yeah.
You can't actually type into your free company and talk to your free company.
And they must also use the app.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's an in-app
So
chat.
I went through my friends list, and there's like a little icon. First of all, the friends list on here doesn't, I don't know if there's a way to sort between who's in friends list, link shells, and free companies. There's just a little icon next to their name that tells you which one they're in. And so my entire friend list is filled with people I don't know from people from link shells that I don't really talk to.
Good. That's what you get with your stupid Femro free company.
Okay, but you can also plan and share events, Nika, right? That's cool.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
That is kind of cool, I guess.
Manage items in your inventory.
But you can do that with Google Calendar.
And Armory chest. Now, Jux, I was actually checking it because you had downloaded it, and I was checking it on the way here, and it kept disconnecting me from the server every time I tried to manage your items.
Oh, yeah, it's because you can't check your items or move them around or anything if you're logged into the game.
I mean, okay. I mean, if you're logged into the game, you could just do it in the game. So
yeah, unless you're like me and never logs off.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're like Nika and just stands around idle for. Why do you do that? I don't understand that.
I don't know, because in case I ever see someone doing something, I might just want to join.
Yeah, and then you know what? I bet she's one of those people that brags about how much time she has played.
Oh, look at my slash played.
Yeah.
Oh, your slash play time is irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's invalid, Nika.
Just like your gender.
What?
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
You can view items held by your retainers in your Chocobo saddlebags. All right. Now, this is the interesting thing. This is what I think sort of blindsided everyone here.
Yeah.
You need to use one of two things. Kupo nuts, which you get one a day when logging in. It's a free bonus.
Which, by the way, they're capped at 2.
Yeah, you can't stockpile.
You can only ever have 2.
And you need 1 every time you buy or sell an item on the market board.
So you can do that once a day.
Or you can buy coins. You're already potentially paying for the app. Now they want you to buy coins. So does anyone have any idea how much this type of stuff is going to cost? Because I actually...
So you can't just buy and sell by having the premium version. You have to have
You still have to buy coins or
Yeah.
have Kupo nuts.
Yeah.
But thankfully, if you get the premium version, you get 2 Kupo nuts every day. And you can have a total of 10 on you at a time.
Oh my god.
That makes it those $5 worth it.
For $1, Nika, you get 5 coins. So for $1, you can make 5 transactions on the market board.
Or
so,
I can just wait until I get home and do it on the game.
Yeah.
Or you could do that. But hold on, because if you buy higher tiers, you get like, for example, $40 gets you 320 coins. That's
Nice.
200 coins for the normal price, and then 120 bonus coins.
I like to call those boner coins because it sounds like bonus.
So not only does this charge you $5 a month to use it, you also have to pay for every transaction on the auction house.
But you get a free retainer with it if you have the premium version.
Can anyone explain to me how anyone thought this was a good idea? How anyone anywhere thought, let's make people pay monthly for our app and then charge them on a transaction basis for the auction house, which is probably the best feature about this app.
Old men in Japanese suits sitting in front of Japanese desks being
I don't even think
Japan.
Sony would try and do this.
At least there's no loot boxes.
I don't think EA would try and do this.
This is pretty scummy. I mean, there's really no better word for it than I can come up with.
Any person who has ever heard us talk about how scummy Square Enix is with their cash shop and how money hungry
This is
they
another
are.
level.
Yes, anyone who ever heard us say that and was like, no, they're not.
They're overreacting.
Call in and defend this.
Please, somebody explain how this is a good idea.
I thought this was going to be really cool. I don't know.
No.
The way, I mean, because when you have no
way
information.
Back when they announced it like 2 E3s or 2 PAXs ago or whenever.
Well, when you have no actual information about your imagination is able to run wild. And yeah, of course, we all thought that this was going to be cool.
Well, because in any other game that they have this, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and here, okay, so first thing, the fact that it's not like the chat is app to app and not app to game or vice versa.
Thank you, because I really needed an app to text my friends on.
Exactly, right? You don't have that on your phone, do you?
No.
I've never heard of.
I do now.
I've never heard of texting on a phone ever. It's a revolutionary idea. Congratulations, Square Enix.
Square Enix, you should probably charge per text you send too.
Square Enix created texting. Great, awesome. But the thing is how like honestly, the fact that it's not app to game is a huge oversight. Like if there is one reason to have a fucking app for your MMO, it's so that you can keep up with what the fuck your guildmates are talking about or your link shell mates or whatever it is, right? Like, and that's not a conversation that happens between two people in a goddamn DM. That's being able to be up on what the conversation is in the goddamn guild. This is why people make forums. So that they can
Discords?
that they can communicate with their fucking players like that. And here you come. Oh, app to app messaging. Way to fucking go. You made WhatsApp. You goddamn
they
idiots.
Could just like add a little like icon after your name. Like, so if someone say like I'm looking people talking to my link shell, they could just put like a little icon after their name that says they're talking
They're
from
on
the app.
Exactly.
Oh, you mean like how the World of Warcraft does it when you're on their mobile app?
Sure.
It's all you had to do. All you have to do is just do what WoW does again.
And then on top of that, having the insult to the people who are dumb enough to shell out the premium subscription for the app.
And they will, because you know what? The people that are being targeted by this already have 40 retainers that they're crafting and selling things on.
Yeah, tell me about it. But again, to slap those users in the face by saying, yeah, you still got to pay per transaction. Like, yeah, you can get more free coupon nuts every day. But if you want to do more than that, if you want to actually use the app as, I don't know, a fucking app, then you got to pay per transaction. That is a kick in the balls and a spit in the face.
On top of the $5 per month.
Fucking hell, Square Enix. What the fuck is this? Someone from your company needs to justify this decision, or you need to change the pricing plan. Period.
Yep. Someone in the chat actually pointing out that World of Warcraft has 2 separate apps, one for chatting, one for Auction House, and then a third one for actually doing World Quest tracking and sending followers on missions. All 3 of those are free.
That really is, I think, an insult to the player base, and I think it should be seen as an insult to the player base. Like that, like if you
are just a money bag to Square-Enix.
Thank you.
Now I will say that most of the threads that I've been seeing about this, and if you look at the ratings and the reviews as well, people are being pretty vocal about it. That
they know
this is not okay.
This is not a secret.
This is a bullshit app. I don't think I've actually seen anyone say anything good about it. There are some 5-star reviews. Let me see if I can pull those up really quick. I haven't actually read them. Again, the majority of them are shitty reviews, but I'm interested to see what the actual 5 stars are.
Like, okay,
98 5-star reviews.
Yeah. I'm looking at the.
It's probably people that like before they downloaded. Oh, I love this game.
Right.
5-star. Like it's not actually going to be.
Or that's the PR agency that Square Enix is paying.
The first one.
Yeah.
Yoshida!
Oh, my God.
Most of these actually don't even have anything. It's just a 5-star review. There's nothing there.
So, again, I just want to break this down.
Oh, my gosh.
The overall review scores that, and this is the North American Google Play Store that I'm looking on. 98 5-star reviews. 52 4-star reviews, 49 3-star reviews, 83 2-star reviews, and 453 1-star reviews.
This one comes from someone. I'm not going to say their name, but it's completely optional content. So I give it 5 stars to combat the 1 and 2 stars.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Here's some from the iPhone or from iTunes. Great start. Looking forward to the premium features they'll be adding in the weeks to come.
Oh, honey.
5 stars.
Oh, honey.
5 stars. I can't use it yet.
That's another. Wait a minute. Hang on. We actually glossed over this whole thing. Is that this app is actually not compatible with the latest Android operating system.
OS, yep.
Yeah, so there's an entire fleet of hardware that is out there among the public.
The newest.
The newest, yeah.
The newest hardware.
If you just upgraded your phone, like maybe, I don't know, this month, then there's a good chance that this app will not actually function on your phone.
A Google user, 5 stars. This app is exactly as described, and I'm ashamed of all the entitled players bashing it for no reason. So far, I love chatting with my friends.
5 stars. Title: good app, but usually error with I2001. We also need emojis! Exclamation point. 5 stars.
Dear God.
I actually thought reading like the 1-star reviews would be the funnest part, but they're all actually pretty critical and to the point.
Like accurate.
Wow, these 5-star ones. Great community, by the way. 5 stars.
Again, they're rating the game, not the app.
Yep.
5 stars. Amazing app. It makes chatting with friends a lot easier, and it makes the game more fun. Being able to buy and sell stuff when you're not around your PC or PS4. But kind of sad that we can't do some stuff when we're already logged in the game.
The fact that, see, I would have thought that...
So that should have at least been 4-star by their description.
I would have thought that the whole Kupo Nut coin transaction thing would be immediately rejected by anyone with a brain. But nah, Jeb here, 5 stars. Can't wait to resub to use this for market price changing while I'm at work.
Oh, you dumb idiot. You dumb idiot. You're going to have to pay for all of those.
But see, I don't know if he even knows, because if he doesn't have an active account, he's not able to check and click on stuff to see that the market shit doesn't work.
Out of 204 reviews, only 7 are 5 stars.
Oh my God, this one. Lots of complaints on having to pay couponuts to change market prices, and it's ridiculous to pay for the premium stuff. If some of you would have read the advertisement for it in the Lodestone, you would have known by now. This app is great. It's a great idea. Worth the extra $2. It's a little laggy though, which a little laggy is not exactly accurate. When it takes me 40 seconds to open the message that Juxta sent to me, that is a a ASCII penis.
Yeah, it was.
Then I think that is actually kind of like that's bad design, maybe.
That's your penis.
Hopefully it wasn't your penis. It was just a text penis.
Eat my dick!
No, thank
Daddy.
you.
The fanboys in here. This is a 5-star review I'm about to read to you. This app does have potential, but as it is now, I'm not a fan of it. 5 stars. Not a fan of it.
Funny how people are expecting it to be 100% perfect already. They did say that they'll have more options here and there. And, of course, it's the app's first day, so it'll be overloaded.
5 stars. It's a
okay,
start.
but that's fair. It's almost fair to say, but has it changed in the second day or third day?
No, and
No.
it's not. I'm sorry. What evidence do you actually have of that, person? What evidence? What actual fucking evidence? Is it Square Enix's release schedule on the app in the first fucking place? Because if that's the case, we're going to be waiting about 3.5 years for the next update.
It's a start. 5 stars. The ability to sell and organize items is cool, and after having read the FAQ, I think this app is in a solid starting stages. Hopefully the future brings more future updates.
Love that I can chat with my friends when not at home. Text them! Facebook Messenger, Discord! There's already ways to do that!
Yep.
Oh my God.
And I'm at the end of the 5-star reviews. And most of the other ones just don't even have a comment. They're just like, 5 stars. You know what? I've downloaded it now. Let me give my rating here.
1.
God damn. This is so frustrating. It's so frustrating because it could be a good app. You know what I mean? Like, it could be usable and even have the premium features still, right? That's not the problem that I have with it. It's not the fact that it has premium features. It's that the premium features aren't even fucking worth the money. Like, you're paying $5 a month and all you're going to be able to do is give me a higher capacity of things that I could change each day if I log in with the app. Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself. Because if I'm paying $5, I should be able to use that app every moment of every day without question or without any kind of barrier or wall or paywall coming up.
Can I make a quick amendment to that? Because I was actually talking to my girlfriend about this, just sort of giving her the overall concept of it, right? And I'm like, how would you make a pay model for this, right? And she's like, at the very minimum, one-time payment because you've already bought their game and you're already paying them monthly.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, if it was like $15 one time to literally do everything, I think they'd get people to do that.
I mean, they're already getting people to do even this, Nika. So,
but
hell, maybe they should also ask for their firstborn. I don't know.
But again, I'm just going back to the statistics on how many reviews have been made on this total. I mean, there's only 10,000 downloads, and how many of those are even just, let me see what the fuss is about? Exactly. But no, wait, there's 10 million players.
10 million players. When I first logged in, too, it's like, do you have the game? If you say no, it takes you to buy the game.
Yeah, it says, are you already
an active member or a subscribed member or something like that?
It says, like, do you already play the game? It's like something really weirdly asked. I was like, yes. Why would I download this app if I didn't?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is, I mean, like, to me, this is a definition of bungled potential. And that's really what we've seen out of Square Enix in the last, couple of updates is just absolute bungled potential.
I still can't believe my eyes when I look at the fact that you have to pay to use the auction house. On top of the fact that we all know, having played the game, that the auction house doesn't even serve any purpose because Gil is meaningless.
Hang on. So question, okay? If it costs money to post things to the auction house, doesn't that have an implication that data exchange costs some kind of money, right? For Square Enix. Like, there's a built-in cost.
Best case scenario, yeah.
Square Enix isn't trying to milk money, every last penny out of your wallets. They're just trying to cover their own costs, right? Like they, if they absorbed all of the costs, then, this would be a huge cost-intensive effort on Square Enix.
Well, Fruits Asian is reminding us this took 3 years to make, so that's a lot of money.
3.5.
3.5. So this is a lot of money that they have to recoup.
But again, so the
plus FF7 remake right around the corner. That's going to need some money.
So, but the implication.
Right around what corner?
The implication is that data costs money, and that is a fallacy. That bandwidth costs money.
It costs me money when I go over my cap from Comcast.
That's because Comcast is lying to you and saying that data is valuable.
You got to go get
valuable to me.
I mean, that's the thing. It is valuable to have that supply of data, but is it Comcast's business what the value of that data is, or trying to price that out? They have you have
should you have to worry about paying for data the same way you pay for gas?
Right, exactly.
I don't want to.
There are a lot of companies out there that are trying to tell you that data is a limited resource, and it is not. That is false.
But when there's more people on the wire, then more data gets sent through, and then there can be backups and makes my...
Because they don't upgrade the wires.
Right. Yeah.
Upgrading the wire costs money.
That does cost money, but guess what?
How else are they going to get money?
But because I pay them every month to have access to that data flow. Right?
Right.
So what is my money going towards?
Having data.
No, my money should be going towards upgrading the fucking hardware.
Infrastructure.
Exactly.
It's paying Jeff, the customer service service representative's money.
No, he's probably only getting minimum wage.
Except they've slashed that staff by half and automated that process way more. So
you're welcome.
So where does it cost money for the data exactly? If you want to be competitive, you want to have the best stream, you want to have the best lines, you want to have the best uptime, you want to be able to have the best service for your customers.
And the way you be competitive is by buying out all the competitors.
No.
I mean, that's the American way.
The best way to do it is to provide service that's better than your competitors.
No, the best way
not artificially make your service worse for arbitrary reasons. This is so frustrating to me. So fucking frustrating to me. Because I don't believe that. Data is not limited. It's just not. Bandwidth isn't a limited resource.
And yet, we're paying like it is.
And we're going to continue to pay like it is.
It's only the beginning. It's only the fucking beginning.
Yep. All right. So that's most of what we got for this week's show. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Do you want to do
it?
Hey,
you kind of want to do it, don't you?
Keep bringing it up.
I kind of want to.
All right.
A little bit.
Let me get it up here.
Okay. All right. So, wow.
Do you want some help?
Nope.
Phrasing.
I got magic fingers.
Nope. Nope.
That's what Daddy says.
I can do it.
So we had talked about this towards the beginning.
To know what your penis looks like.
Towards the beginning of the show, there are these stories that Square Enix is putting out called Tales from the Storm, and a new one came out. There's going to be another new one coming out on the 24th, and then again on the 31st.
Do we know who those feature?
No.
Don't. Probably characters that don't actually mean anything anymore.
Right.
Yep.
Papnuo.
Yes. Maybe we'll get one about what Lise was doing when she was off not doing anything.
That's something that she's still alive. So we can't do that.
Yeah, but she's still meaningless.
So
who was the old guy that died?
Louis Sois.
No,
the other old guy in Stormblood.
Harchefant?
No.
No, that one guy that they didn't bother to.
All right, so I will do like just the normal story stuff, and you want to do the
yeah, sure. I'll help you out here.
Okay.
I'll provide some.
There's two characters in here though. I know which one you want to do. What about the other character?
Who's
somebody else?
Who's the other? Who's the other character?
It's well, spoilers. It's gonna be Ra's al Ghul.
Oh, okay.
Who wants to do his voice? Should I just do his voice too?
No, I think Juxta should do his voice.
All right.
What are we reading? From the Ashes?
Yes.
Can you cue me when I have to speak?
From Azure Ashes. Read along, you lazy bastard.
All you have to do is read along. If there's a pause and no one's saying anything,
start reading?
Be a dragon. Yeah. Okay. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, so here we go. This is From the Ashes. The breeze that caressed the ruined palace seemed tinged with gold. More than anything else, it was said that the great worm Ratatoskr loved to weave songs, and the eldritch power of her verses still lingered here, 1,000 years after her voice was forever silenced by the treachery of mortals. In the wake of her death, the dragons had named her home in the clouds Sorkai, words which mean grieving apology, out of the guilt over their failure to protect her, and left the place untouched. A lone figure took in the scene before kneeling to lay a bouquet.
I know I make a strange messenger over here, but the war is over.
It was, he conceded, an awkward utterance. But how could it be otherwise? What else could he say to the she-worm whose murder had kindled the flames of the Dragon Song War? He whose sole purpose in life had been to hunt her kind. Sorry? Even as he struggled to fashion an apology, a sudden gust scattered his offering of flowers, sending petals billowing in all directions.
I did not expect to find thee here, Azure Dragoon.
Estinian did not so much hear the voice as feel it echoing inside his mind, but he both heard and felt the beating of mighty wings that followed. Looking up, he beheld a familiar white form descending. Ra's al Ghul. So much for privacy.
So much from a privacy here. That's crazy. It's a dragon over there.
Following Nidhogg's defeat and his miraculous rescue upon the steps of faith, Estinian had remained in the Holy See only long enough to witness his old friend Emmerich appointed Lord Speaker of the House of Lords. He had them quietly taken his leave, not with a mind to forsake his homeland, but to ponder how he might serve it in this new age. With the war at an end, he reasoned his presence was no longer required. There was no place for a man who had spilled as much dragon blood as he, much less one who had turned lance and fang upon his own people as his enemy's thrall. Where to then for Ishgard's unwanted champion? Estinian could think of several places, and so he had embarked upon a journey. Cue montage. To the ruins of Ferndale, the village of his birth, to offer a prayer to his beloved mother, father, and little brother, Hamignant.
So wait, I was born in Ferndale? I feel like my voice is a little bit off for Ferndale.
Poor little Hammy.
There might be a little lisp that I gotta put in there too.
To a cliff overlooking the capital to give thanks to the knight, brave and true, whose sacrifice had kept Ishgard's hope alive. To the floating continent Azizla, to pay tribute to the maiden of conviction who blazed a path for her comrades by burning the candle of her life.
No, I'll blaze your path.
His old self would never have contemplated such a sentimental journey, but times had changed, and so had he. Last of all, he had come to Sorkai to voice his regret to the long-departed Ratatoskr, a visit he had hoped would go unnoticed.
Spying ill becomes you, worm!
Estinian growled. The great worm's muzzle contorted into what must have been a smile.
Do but I intrude, but I desire to show mine appreciation for thy gesture. My brood sister would have welcomed it.
For a time, Estinian's soul had been merged with that of Nidhogg, the dread worm's tumultuous storm of emotions, cummingly with his own.
That's crazy.
The rancor, the fury, the grief.
I'm a dragon over here!
He had felt it all, and the grief lingered even now. The gulf left behind by Ratatoskir's passing was one he knew as well as any man or dragon, and thus were Ra's al Ghul's words more comforting than the worm realized.
I am owed no such kindness, but, thank you,
Estinian replied, his voice catching in his throat. Gathering himself, he continued.
And for what it's worth, I'm not the Azure Dragoon. This age has no need of my lance.
At this, the great worm's eyes narrowed.
Yar, but there be upon thy back, thy fair dripping from my brood brother's essence. Yar.
The observation caught him wholly unawares. When he had left Ishgard behind, he had done so without his dragoon's armor, deeming it a relic of a former life. Yet somehow it had not occurred to him to likewise lay down his lance, warped though it was by Nidhogg's power. Estinian's confoundment was plain to Raish Velgur, and when he spoke, it was in tones tinged with the faintest trace of pity.
Yar, thy fight is not over, mortal. Yar, thou knowest only too well.
The sting of another realization.
Damn you, worm!
He had the right of it, of course. Azure Dragoon or no, there was still work to be done. Purpose even for a lance tempered and honed in an unjust war.
You know, if you would just swear to fight for man and dragon both. Oh wait, is this your line? I'm reading your line. I apologize.
Dar, if thou wouldst swear to fight for man and dragon both, then come with me, Dar. Unto thee, Dar, I shall bequeath an armor befitting of a true dragoon. Arr.
Without waiting for a response, Raish Velgur leapt into the sky with a powerful kick, his tattered wings bearing him away so swiftly that his looming form soon became no more than a speck in the heavens. Snapping out of his reverie, Estinian dashed to his mana cutter and took off in pursuit. After a brief flight, they came to a cluster of ruins upon the fringes of Sor-Kai. A stable for wyverns during the forgotten days of harmony, Estinian guessed. There, the great worm landed, and after he had followed suit, Raish Velgur nodded towards the heart of the ruins.
Dar.
They had not walked far when Estinian caught sight of what he knew at once to be their destination.
Oh, by the fury over here!
Inside what appeared to be the remains of a barracks built for men sat several armory chests. All bore the scars of the inexorable march of time, save one. A pristine example preserved by some manner of draconic enchantment. Estinian needed no further encouragement. As he approached the chest, Raish Velgur broke the silence.
Yar, in the beginning, dragoons were the men who fought beside dragons, not against them. Jar, Ratatasker took great pleasure in bearing such fearless souls upon her back. Jar, and thus, Dar, she blessed her Dharma with her power.
Lifting the lid, Estinian's jaw fell open. Before him lay not one, but two magnificent suits of plate armor. Their hue was all too familiar.
Azure gods, forgive me over here!
Yar, at first, men felt honored to receive such gifts, yar. But more power they received, the more they craved. And all too soon, yar, not save the source, but the power that would sate them.
And so they butchered her, devoured her eyes like feral beasts.
The armor of the first dragoons, brimming with power freely given. The mere sight of it made Estinian's heart swell. But he made no move to claim his prize.
That why over here?
He said at length.
Why grant me this power? What makes you think that I am different from any different from Thornton and the rest?
At this, the worm paused, head lowered, before answering softly.
Yar, a maiden, just give me cause. Believe in thy kind once more.
Only after lengthy silence did he continue.
Never was this armor worn, it wanteth for a master, a true dragoon. Thou hast cast aside once Azure, thou wouldst take up another. It is dying.
A short while later, Estinian emerged from the barracks with new armor and newfound purpose. The azure plate gleamed brightly as it caught the light of the midday sun.
Such armor deserves a name, and I know one that befits it well.
Raish Velgur stared at him expectantly.
I saw it over here! For we shall watch over a man ignorant of all things save how to wield a lance steeped in anger.
Yar.
At these words, Raish Velgur threw back his head and let loose a mighty roar, both of approval and approval and amusement. The Dragoon had chosen well. When Estinian finally left the churning mist, his feet carried him almost of their own volition towards the battlefield once more, there to cut a path for his comrades whose struggles yet continued. Time went by, and the war for Alamigo's liberation found the forces of the Eorzean Alliance at the fortress city's doorsteps. From his cliffside vantage point, Estinian watched as the host wretched its way through the locks, a great serpent with soldiers for scales. Though they were too far away to see, he doubted not, but that his comrades were among them. Emmerich, Elfenau, the warrior of light. He had silenced the monstrous cannon at Castrum Abania to pave their way. The final act of casting down the Garleans he left to them. Something else demanded his attention. A matter for him alone.
Make that 2 matters, eh?
He inwardly corrected. Spent of Aether as they were, it had been no easy task to track them down. As the final battle had joined and his friends fought on, he quietly intercepted a squadron of flying armor that was moving to flank them. It was then that he felt the call. A power he knew as intimately as he knew himself, emanating from the skies high above the royal palace. Pulling the tip of his lance free of a smoldering wreck, he struck out at a brisk run, making his way through the unfolding chaos. But by the time he finally emerged in the gardens of the royal menagerie, it was all over. All save his own task. Even without seeing them, he knew exactly where they lay. Striding through the exotic flowers, heedless of their beauty, he came to a halt at a patch like any other. And there they were, Nidhogg's eyes staring blindly up at him.
Well, 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 what a fine mess you've made over here.
He greeted them as old friends.
All but spent feeding that primal, huh? Well, you won't be making any mischief with that amount of Aether over here.
He drew his lance, named for his nemesis and the dragon he himself once was, and aimed its deadly point at one helpless eyeball.
Still, better safe than sorry.
Bracing himself body and soul, he plunged into the eye. It gave way readily, turning into black mist and disappearing into the crimson sky. Wasting no time, he then consigned its twin to the selfsame fate.
There ends your hateful legacy over here.
Thus did Estinian's journey come to an end, a journey which had seen him revisit the past and in doing so, find a future. His lifelong battle having reached its true conclusion, he could finally begin anew. None can say whither his road will lead, whether the skies that greet him will be striking blue of day, the blazing crimson of dusk, or the deepening black of twilight. Yet wheresoever he should find himself, one thing is certain. He will ever wield his lance for man and dragon both.
Over here! That was fun.
Why were you a fucking pirate?
Was Ratatasker not a pirate?
No,
this was Rachel Gore, first of all.
Yeah, he was a dragon.
Was he not a dragon pirate?
He was not. I don't think he was a dragon pirate.
I'm pretty sure he was a dragon pirate.
I don't think so.
That would make him infinitely cooler.
Nika, what did you think of our performance?
I think that I'm gonna have to go back and reread it myself to find out what actually happened.
I give it a 10.
I'm a dragon over here.
The dragon becomes me.
Yes, thank you. That was fun.
It was, you know what? It was a nice way to end cap the episode, honestly.
Yeah, at least we got a little bit of laughs out of it.
We did.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us for Limit Break Radio. We had fun today. Sort of. Anyway. Thank you to all of our callers. We appreciate it, both Piggy and Geldnar Hothbane. Again, if you want to call Limit Break Radio, if you want to be a part of the show, you got to tune in on Sundays. Sunday starting at 4 p.m. at twitch.tv/Limit Break Radio. Make sure you follow us on social media, twitch.tv or twitter.com/Limit Break Radio, facebook.com/Limit Break Radio. Look for our announcements about next week. We're not sure whether there's going to be a show, but there's definitely going to be something on the stream. So make sure you hang out, twitch.tv/Limit Break Radio at 4 p.m. every Sunday. We'll make sure that there's something here for you. And again, thank you guys for allowing us a week off last week. It was definitely needed. My mom appreciated that I was able to be there to hang out for her birthday.
Your mom appreciates you.
I know, right? Like, it's every once in a while Thank you. Every once in a while, I need to pretend to be a good son, so I do appreciate the ability to go over and hang out with my folks. And again, hopefully we'll have a show for you next week. But If not, we will have something here on the channel. Sorry to have to do that so kind of back to back, but with Kahlo and I being out of town, makes it kind of difficult to organize a show. So anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in for Limit Break Radio this week. Patreon.com/Limit Break Radio is how this show is supported. For my crew, Nika Kyanian, Kahlo Landis, and Juxtaposition, I'm Aniro. Keep listening. Limit Break Radio is a production of LimitBreakRadio.com and Bender Media Productions. This episode was produced by Lloyd, Kahlo Landis, and Juxtaposition. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are trademarks of Square-Enix. Funding for Limit Break Radio is provided by Miri Kennett, Nexian Theta, Hirsch First, Talen Vieira, and fellow Limit Break Radio listeners. To support Limit Break Radio, visit Patreon.com/Limit Break Radio. Opening music in this episode from Daniel Lambie. Listen to Man with the Machine Gun and other great tracks at Facebook.com/Daniel Lambie Metal Gamer. Closing music in this episode provided by Husky by the Geek. Listen to this and other great Final Fantasy XIV and video game rock covers and original music at Facebook.com/Husky by the Geek. In-game graphics for Limit Break Radio's Twitch stream are provided by Diamond Multimedia. Check out their line of AMD graphics cards and other hardware at DiamondMM.com. Limit Break Radio and its hosts are solely responsible for its content.